Sometimes when making superhero prose, also, if it's definitely something you loved as a when you were younger, like basics, capes and spandex comics, picking it up on the old spin rack and everything. I guess some of that stuff has been with me long enough to where uh, superhero prose just seems like second nature to me. So I'm just having a ball going around like, but what if, just what if, like, you just basically look at other TV shows, and this is perfectly fine. To get an example of like, okay, if you're looking at a favorite show, what kind of arcs happen in an episode? How do characters react to things? I mean, once you start writing, you'll start to pick up some more things like the nuts and bolts of stuff. Now, it doesn't always, translate to paper. Again, case in point, people writing, show because they eventually want this thing to be on the big or small screen versus, a lot of books do need telling in it also. 'Cause just like Mr. Misha said, you're a storyteller. Which, you know what? I'll also link his stuff below after I'm done with this part. Because, I found that Pulp Rev and other things have given me a lot of insight of like what I've been missing, since the ye olden days of finding Lord of the Rings in Narnia for the first time. I guess I kind of drifted away from fantasy stuff for a while because it became so overpopulated with the Game of Thrones ripoffs. And again, that's not my wheelhouse. So, but to get back on track with Uplift Protocol, I kept thinking to myself, well, what if I took one of my favorite space operas and then boom, add superheroes? How would that change, the overall conflicts that would happen? Would it detract from some things, add to others? So my hope with Uplift Protocol is that people will have fun, reading it as much as I have been having fun writing it, and just to have that sense of adventure of like we're gonna go off and see other planets, maybe some other cultures. It's okay to have absurdities and fun. Like, not everything has to be super serious. So I hope Uplift Protocol has a decent balance of like mystery, a bit of tension. I mean, I don't really want to have tons and tons of tension right now because it's still just the beginning of the series. Other stuff will come out later. Like I hope that it will have a decent mix of what people found fun in comic books. Like especially in the 70s and 80s. Sometimes you'll have issues where it'll be a little bit of a character moment, and then maybe the next few issues will be a bit of the mystery, and some of the other issues will be have like the cosmic level stuff. Like, I hope I mix and match things well enough. I know I guess the most important thing is as long as the writer truly is having fun, that will reflect in the work. So I'm glad people are starting to follow along that aren't related to family. That's like one of the biggest thing is it's like it's good to have family look at stuff, but to know that there's people out there that are in no way related to you actually having fun reading your stuff is it's a it's a nice confidence booster, not gonna lie. And especially considering how much of a you know the sub of a subgenre superhero prose is. I'm glad I have people coming along for the ride, and I hope that genre does get bigger because it really does. It needs a lot of love, and it keeps getting drowned out by paranormal, IKEA, porn, romance. Which actually, I don't even think I should really call it romance. It's erotica, because to me, romance implies that there's kind of like a courtly, you know, um, basically interaction between a couple, and a lot of the IKEA porn stuff, it's just there for titillation. And I get it. Some of that stuff sells really well. It's just I rather add more towards the Once Upon a Time meets kind of like a courtly romance aspect into my own series because yeah, like I even when I had Thomas and Gino meet and everything, it's like yeah, I wanted it to be kind of like a whirlwind thing because a little bit of a time skip, but I also wanted to show that what I'm a sucker for true love at first sight type of setups. It's like it's just a part of me. I realize that's a corny part of me, so I cater to that. And it was so many um, books basically like the love triangle thing, which again that's a theme or an aspect that I definitely do not enjoy. I think it the last time that sort of thing appealed to me, I think I was just starting high school. And in some YA stuff back then, they had like, oh, who will she choose? I mean, okay, so that yeah, I guess it just showcases that my mindset has changed a bit over the years. Like what might have attracted me at one time or another, now I'm just looking for something else. So with Uplift Protocol, it's pretty much jam packed with all the things I'm looking for: aspirational and inspirational superheroes, bad guys that you want to basically throw the book at. Um, I love the wise mentor type thing, which I add my own 2 cents with it with Mr. Apple there. Um, he's kind of like once other chapters hit, you'll be like, oh, so he's carrying a bit of more baggage than we first thought. Because again, yeah, there's a lot of weight on his shoulders. Um, but kind of like I thought to myself for Uplift Program with Mr. Apple, what if you took Lorian from Babylon 5, added a little bit of the stuff from Fringe with the outsiders, like kind of like that a little bit of otherworldly, like what do they do in aspect, and basically, you know, add a smidge of Gandalf. Like, yeah, he is pretty wise in some areas, but he's also going to have his own bit of growth too. And he's like he's a guardian, and a guardian like him has a very heavy purpose. I mean, because he's seen. I guess I'll let you guys in on a little bit of this. He's seen the multiverse basically collapse on itself at least 3 different times. So that's why he's so protective of what's going to happen. Like this is a convergence event that will help basically shift a cycle. Because that even though Mass Effect fell on its face, the idea of cyclical things happening gave me like I'm like because I know with comic books sometimes they also do the whole like what's beyond the source wall type setup. Because again, that's because when I was thinking the Ouroboros wall, I was thinking the source wall from DC's setup. Because again, it's like you can put any number of things beyond that source wall or beyond the Ouroboros. So I decided to set up like the thing that dwells beyond it. It takes sustenance from the multiverse, but that's not the only time it's done that. I even had Gino indicate like, yeah, there's scarring from that if you know where to look, and Mr. Apple's seen a whole lot of like rise and fall of a lot of places and a lot of different peoples and sentience and everything. So what does that do to a character like that? Like, these are the types of things I do want to explore in this eventually. And but yet at the heart of it all, my one of my core themes is hope, like the eventual rebirth, a true rebirth where these heroes will eventually put a stop to this cycle by discovering what's really causing it, and then they'll go off from there. I mean, that's what I find fun about science fiction is you can ask these questions, or even in comics you can keep with the same themes over and over again, and it'll end up just add your 2 cents. It doesn't have to be super complex. A lot of times, even starting with a simple idea, it can grow from there. So I think I'll stop this video at here for now, and I'll get to the next part. Oh yeah.